rabbis yesteryear. Now, tonight I'm going to concentrate on a rabbi that was a chief rabbi of France, Rabbi Yisrael Levi. Now, I think he was actually a rabbi of Ashkenazic origin, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm specifically concentrating on him because I believe he was also an investigator. He did a lot of work traveling various different Sephardic countries in his time, especially around the year 1909. So he was very, very much in the Sephardic world also all throughout. So I think maybe he will definitely be suitable to integrate in the series, and we can also explore who were the chief rabbis of France of yesteryear. So I believe he was born on the 7th of July in the year 1856, if I'm not mistaken, and he passed away on the 23rd of June 1939. It happened to be in this Hebrew month of Tammuz. I believe it was the 6th of Tammuz when he passed away. Now, very interesting. He was actually born in an area which is spoken in Paris, the capital city, let's just say, of France. This is and very, very famous place in Jewish history without. So that has to be pointed out. Okay, so let's explore some of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life with regards to that. Okay, so he was a chief rabbi, as we said before. He would have time period. He passed away in the year 1939. He was an expert with regards to, let's say, the French Jewish history in of itself. He was an investigator with regards to the various different rabbis, let's just say, all throughout the different vicinities, all throughout the diaspora. He was a rabbi that would really look into and investigate on other people. He was the founders of various different societies, studies of Jewish wisdom, I think, in Paris also. And he was a lecturer. He was a Talmud lecturer. So as I said before, he was born in Paris in the year, I believe it was 1856. Various opinions. He would complete his rabbinical studies at the famous rabbinical seminary of France in Paris. This was, which was seen at the time as a prominent place over there. And I think come what the year 1880, he would actually help with regards to setting up the Xachmat Israel, let's just say, organization that was like investigating, let's just say, on the study, a society to study Jewish wisdom, the Société des Juifs. I think this was in Paris, and he was an editor of a specific journal called the Revue des Etudes Juives. I think it was a French quarterly magazine founded in Paris with regards to studying Jewish studies and so on and so forth. I think there were many volumes that were actually printed at the end. He published many articles on a variety of subjects pertaining to Jewish studies. It was. Now, time will progress. I think in the year 1892, he would go on to become a personal secretary and assistant to a Rabbi Tzadok Cohen, who was a chief rabbi of Paris at that point in time. Who was Rabbi Tzadok Cohen? I don't know if we mentioned him before inside the series. He himself passed away in the year 1905. He was a famous rabbi, obviously a chief rabbi in France. He was, and he was also a director of Talmud Torah over there. He was an assistant himself to the previous chief rabbi Lazare Istor of Paris. I think he would write various different books. And he was actually originally unanimously voted as the chief rabbi of his point in time. He had connections with many public figures, let's just say, in his day, and wrote various different literary works. But we're not speaking so much about him in today's video. We're just mentioning how he was connected with him at that point in time. He would go on to lecture Talmud in various different places, especially from the year 1896. Now, most notably, why also we're speaking about him today, I think in the year 1909, he would be, I think, head the delegation from the Kol Yisrael Chaverim, the school network, the Alliance, the school network, to examine the state of Jewish education in the various Mediterranean countries. He would visit Eretz Israel. He would visit Egypt. Remember, Egypt, I think, had various Alliance schools, also Syria and Turkey at that point in time. So he would go on a mission to actually check with regards to the school systems over there. So he would be very well traveled in the North African countries and the more Asian countries. Now, come what, I think it was around the period of 1914, it was, I think Alfred Levy, the chief rabbi at the time, Rabbi Alfred Levy, he would suffer from illness, and he would fill his place, let's just say, as being the chief rabbi of France shortly afterwards, or at that point in time, on a temporary basis. And then he was officially elected, I think, come what the year 1920 it was, he would be appointed chief rabbi of France at that stage in time. I believe he passed away in Paris in the year 1939. He was buried in a cemetery called the Montparnasse Cemetery, I think, which is based in Paris. So he would also receive various awards, which I have to point out. I think specifically he would win the Officer of the Legion of Honor. He would be awarded with, which was, let's just say, prominent in that specific time. There's articles about him in the National Library website, which I recommend everyone to look into. There's various different articles that he was associated to, and so on and so forth. So he was famous rabbi. I think there's an encyclopedia he's very much featured in. And if you go on the HebrewBooks.org's websites, you can also see some of his writings. He did leave some, as I said, a lot of different writing documentaries. He was about 82 years of age at the time he passed away. Naturally, he passed away in France, in Paris, at that stage in time. So let's explore who were the chief rabbis of France during that specific area to modern times. So remember, he was chief rabbi for nearly as many as 20 years over there. The first chief rabbi, though, of France happened to be Rabbi Joseph David Zinzine. He was a Talmudic commentator, very, very well known. He was for a few years, till 1812. And Rabbi Abraham de Colonna would be to 1826. Rabbi Emmanuel Deutsch would be there. He was a rabbi, I think, of Koblenz, and have various different roles over there. Then it would be Rabbi Merchant Henry, I think, would have 6-7 years over there. He was, I think, the brother of Jonas Henry. And Rabbi Salmon Ullman, Rabbi Lazar Isidore. Remember, these are all Ashkenazic rabbis, primarily seeing, and he would be for over 20 years, till the year 1888. And Rabbi Tzadok Cohen, he was, as I said before, a French Jewish theologian. He was a rabbi of Paris. He was one of the leaders of the Chibat Zion movement, also Zionist. Rabbi Yisrael Levi, who we're talking about today, he was 20 years. Then it will be followed by Rabbi Isaiah Schwartz, 1952. And then Rabbi Yitzchak Henry Shilly, I think for a few year period. Then Rabbi Jacob Kaplan will be for nearly 28 years, he will be. And chief rabbi. That will be followed by Rabbi Samuel Sirat, who we've spoken about just right now. He was chief rabbi of France, I think, from 1988. And I think he was the first Sephardic chief rabbi of France. Then Rabbi Yosef Sitruk would be another rabbi we've spoken about. He would be for more than 21 years. And he himself was also very well respected from the North African countries. Then Rabbi Gilles Bernheim would be for about 4 or 5 year period to 2013. And I think currently Rabbi Chaim Korissa is a chief rabbi of France at the moment. And I think he actually is from Lyon originally. And he happens to be a famous rabbi. He's been for, I think now, possibly 10 years, just over 10 years. He has been, I think his family actually is from Algeria originally, the chief rabbis is. He was a rabbi in France for many years. He was a member of the Central Consistory, and he was a president. He had ties with various different dignitaries and important people in the governments across Europe, even, if I'm not mistaken. So that is very interesting to point out. But we were speaking here about Rabbi Yisrael Levi, someone that would be very close to the Sephardic Rabbanim, would visit the countries, would investigate, and he was chief rabbi for nearly 20 years of France. His Hilula, I believe, was the 6th of March. It was a few weeks ago, but it was on this month. So I thought it would be a nice special edition to speak about them as we're trying to grow this encyclopedia. I have many rabbis that were connected of that specific time period, which I think is always a very, very good idea. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the famous rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the rabbis we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos we are recording, please share these videos also to other people. And we're nearing a staggering at the moment, as many as 7,000 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement at the moment. Let's get to that period before Tisha B'Av. That'll be a great goal to have. And we're not just doing videos on biographies of famous rabbis of yesteryear. We've got an interesting personality every single day, rabbi or Jewish personality that will give over some chizuk for Am Yisrael, to strengthen Am Yisrael. That's one of the projects that we are concentrating on. And we are trying to, let's just say, look at the Parashat Shemot. Another series we are doing at the moment is the Daf Yomi series, where every single day we learn a tidbit from the daily page of the Gemara. I think that's a very, very good idea. We like to go to a different location when we actually record these videos every single specific day. So that we're very proud to say we are doing this also. So please join the community. Don't forget to subscribe now. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. This week we are coming into Shabbat Parshat Matot, I must say, a double header here in Israel. And we're going to enter the book of Devarim, Bezrat Hashem, in the coming week that's coming up. So we're spoken about a chief rabbi of France over here, Rabbi Yisrael Levi, the Harab Arashi Letzarfat of France, respectively. So on that note, I bid you farewell, good night. And also don't forget to everyone have a nice Shabbat Shalom. Also, thank you for watching.